AI SEO. This is an introduction to how artificial intelligence is reshaping search optimization. My name is Sam. This is the first video in a series of videos that we're doing on AI SEO. In this video, we're going to go over what AI SEO is. We're going to look at how AI-driven search differs from traditional search engines. We'll give an overview of AI search tools like ChatGPT, Google's AI overviews, and Copilot. And we will talk about why AI SEO is critical for staying competitive in digital marketing. First, what is AI SEO? AI SEO refers to the process of optimizing content and websites to perform well and to be used as resources in AI-powered search engines like ChatGPT, in Google's AI overviews, and Copilot, and the many others that are there and that will come. With AI SEO, there's going to be a bigger focus on conversational relevance, on the context of the conversation, and on structured data. We will talk about those in a minute. And you'll need to be aware of and align with how AI retrieves and presents information. Diving a little deeper into conversational relevance and context, what we mean by that. So conversational relevance, that's going to be directly answering the immediate query. So that's just the what am I typing into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT understanding the intent behind that question, where context is going to be the broader background of the conversation. And so you'll look at the history of the conversation, user preferences, situational details. With ChatGPT and other LLMs, a lot of times it is more conversational than just a traditional search. And as that conversation is ongoing, ChatGPT is learning more about the context of what I'm looking for, what I'm hoping to find, and that's going to inform its future responses. Where all this matters, and from an SEO perspective, would be we need to understand, okay, if people are if people are searching differently when they're interacting with ChatGPT, we want to be aware of that if it's going to be more conversational. And two, we need to be mindful of how does someone get to us. And so it's a little bit of the customer journey, but it's, if someone is talking about how to fix a leaky sink, we will want to have content on our website that not only talks about how to fix a leaky sink, but then the broader context around sinks and bathrooms and leaks, and just to be a more informed website on those topics. AI's impact on SEO. One, this is fairly obvious, but people are using ChatGPT more and more. And then you have Google and you have Microsoft who are integrating language learning models into their search results. And so it's already happening. It's here. And so we're trying to learn and respond to what that means. AI uses natural language processing for context understanding. We'll talk about that in the next slide here. AI is going to generate responses based on user intent and conversationally, not just based on keywords. And then the content that the content must address specific questions and align with user prompts. And so that's just the content on our website, the content that we're making. We need to think about how would someone conversationally talk about this, and then make sure that we have not just the answer to that question, but then again having a full-fledged answer, having supporting resources for things. Those are going to be helpful. Now, looking at natural language processing real quick. Natural language processing, or NLP, it's a field of artificial intelligence that focuses on helping computers understand, interpret, and generate and interact with human language in a way that's helpful. It needs to understand the language, so obviously just knowing the meaning of words, knowing the context. We'll get into the interpreting part there in a second. Understanding grammar. It needs to be able to generate language, so it needs to be able to give responses that are coherent and that are contextually accurate to the language that I'm using. And then it needs to be able to interpret things, identify the purpose and goal behind a user's input. And so an example of this would be, if I said the pretty girl bats her eyes versus the bats flew out of the cave, being mindful that, being able to understand that bats is two different things there. In the one, it's an action that someone's doing. In the other, it's an animal that's flying. If I'm asking for, I have another example here, but natural language processing helps computers to better understand the language that we use and to be able to respond coherently and contextually to our prompts and to our queries. We're looking at AI versus traditional search engines. So traditional search engines, it's going to index and rank based on keywords largely. Obviously, there's many more variables that go into it. But I'm going to type in a search term, and then Google's going to give me back a list of results, and that's it's going to display that list. So it's here's our rankings of it, and here's link 1, here's link 2, here's link 3, and it relies heavily on content, on backlinks, and then somewhat on metadata, and there's all on-page SEO and all those pieces. AI search, instead of giving a list of things, it's going to give you a direct answer based on the context of your question. It will provide conversational responses that often will lead to furthering that conversation. So I'm going to then respond back to it, and it's going to have a larger focus on intent, and then structured data will be helpful. That's a piece on the website side that we can do to help better position ourselves for AI search. So now I want to look at a couple of examples of AI versus traditional search just to show what we had talked about here. But here's Gemini. This is Google's latest model. But what's a good Italian restaurant near Times Square? You can see that, again, it gives us, instead of just a list of results, I guess this is a list of results, but instead of just a list of links, it's giving us images for each of the restaurants here. It's giving us a little overview of the restaurant, and then we have a link to the actual, to the website itself. One thing that, just as I'm looking through this, to note, it's linking to the website here, to the website there. This image is from OpenTable. This image is from OpenTable. This Carmine's is not to the home page, but this is to a specific location page. So what does this all tell me? One, if I have an Italian restaurant near Times Square, I for sure want to have an OpenTable listing that's probably well optimized. I also, if I have multiple locations, I for sure want to have location pages, and this location page is specifically Times Square. So that's interesting there. Looking at ChatGPT, this is going to give us similar results. This is the same question here, but ChatGPT now is giving, there's a slightly different list of restaurants here. They're not all the same. It does not give me images. It does give me the location, the address, so that needs to be clear. It gives me the vibe. That's very interesting, and I'd be interested in even asking it, how did you come up with the vibe for each of these? And if it gives you anything on that, knowing like, hey, that's something I should be aware of. It's giving highlights here. I would imagine this is coming from a lot of the directories and things that people have said about their food, but that's just a guess. Either way, again, it's much more conversational, and then this is all compared to a traditional Google search result, which we're all familiar with, but you have the Google map pack here, and then you have just the traditional list of results. Something I do know, Tony's is showing up in all of these, except for in the Google map pack here. But if you look at the meta descriptions here for some of these directories, so TripAdvisor, Tony's is number 1, OpenTable, Tony's is number 2, Yelp, Tony's is number 2. So all of that to say, and we've seen this across a lot of different examples, especially for local businesses, but it feels like, at least as of right now, a lot of AI search relies or pulls certainly from some of the top directories. And so if you were an Italian restaurant near Times Square, having TripAdvisor, OpenTable, Yelp, having accounts there, driving reviews there, those are things that are going to matter. And then the last example I wanted to give, this is a different question just because I wasn't getting an AI overview on Google, but I wanted to show this is what an AI overview is, where you have, I just said, what is AI SEO? You'll have the traditional search results down there, but right at the top here, Google gives its AI overview. This is powered by Gemini, and then there's the learn more over here, which is pulling different websites that I could go look more into this. I'm interested to see, here you have HubSpot, Forbes, Search Engine Land, Here you have SEMrush, BrightEdge, SmartBug. You have HubSpot, 19 best AI tools. 19, so that HubSpot is shown twice there. You have Forbes there. And just interesting. But those are, this will, I'm sure, continue to evolve. But those are just an examples of traditional versus AI search results. So some major AI search tools at the moment. Again, I'm recording this in December of 2024, so this might look different in a year from now or 6 months from now. You have ChatGPT, powered by OpenAI is the parent company there. Conversational responses, content ideation. It's probably the most widely used individual tool of these right now. You have Google's AI overviews, which we just looked at. That's where it's right within traditional search results, giving summaries and insights and then referencing other sites to learn more. It was formerly known as SGE, Search Generative Experience, I believe. And then it's Gemini is the model that's powering it. And you have Copilot, which is Microsoft's version of this. Formerly this was Bing Chat. Now they're integrating Copilot into basically all of their products, as far as I'm aware. But that is Microsoft version. Microsoft has invested heavily into ChatGPT. Anyway, so there's some crossover there, but those are big ones. Then you have, I'm blocking it here. You have Claude as other options, or some upcoming ones as well. We're getting close to the end here, but why AI SEO matters? It's changing how people find and interact with information. I don't believe we're going backwards with this, and so we want to be mindful of it, and we want to be working now to position ourselves for it. Businesses need to focus on conversational, user-focused content. It should be that's part of where this is all headed. And even though it's been around for a little bit, it's still very early in all of this. There's still a lot of businesses, especially local businesses, that have not given this any thought. And so, the earlier you start working on this, you're going to develop a significant competitive advantage. Key takeaways from all of this: AI-driven search is here. It's not something that's coming, and it's widely used right now, and I believe will continue to take up market share. Even if you still go to Google, those AI overviews or Bing searches, like that's going to continue to be a part of things, and probably grow more and more. I don't think that traditional search results are going away. They do have purpose there. It's just this is another area that we need to be mindful of. We want to optimize for context, for intent of questions, for conversational relevance. So just thinking through, how would I be having a conversation about this, and then making sure that our content can help to align with that. We'll get into this in future videos, but structured data is a piece of that, where you want that on your site, and you want that set up properly. That will help computers to understand what your site is about more. And then stay tuned. We're going to do, again, this is video number 1. I've got about 15 of these lined up, and the next video is going to be what are the main AI search engines, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into some of the most used AI search engines at the moment. Thank you. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please stay tuned for more in our AI SEO series. And you can find the whole series at sambretzman.com. Thanks, and have a great day.